Hello.
Hello.
You know, we don't usually talk about our religious views on this show because we don't like to get into that. But we are religious. We do have a religion that we believe in, and we want to share with you that religion right now.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit of my bowel history. Every Sunday, my dad used to go in the bathroom to have his bowel movement. Sometimes I'd hear a little... and I'd go in for my bowel movement. And I would go in, and it was like a green cloud, you know, a toxic waste dump in there. I remember sometimes it wouldn't come out, and when it did, it was kind of like, once I pooped in my pants in school, and I just left it in all day. And that to me was pooping. I had a young lady come to me. She said a bowel movement came out of him as long as from her fingertips to her elbow, as big around as her forearm. She said that once it was in the toilet, they couldn't flush it down. Her husband had to get a shovel out of the garage and chop it up.
Actually, if I was going to believe in a religion, it would probably be the religion of Chris Hansen, because I love his work, you know. I love his work so much. What am I doing?
I'm very confused.
I don't know.
Happening.
You don't need to worry about it.
Okay, great.
This is all in post.
Awesome.
Not the cereal brand, but
I do enjoy Post cereal though.
they got the Fruity Pebbles.
I got a lot.
Post sponsor us.
No.
Hey!
How you doing?
Welcome
Oh, hi.
to a new, all new episode of Play. No, that's the game one. This is the movie one, right? Hey, get.
Real.
It's hot Toddy and Ms. Pengrino. Look, we're not doing very well. We are very tired. I think I have.
Not just me this time.
No, well, I have some sort of illness or something. I'm not sure what's going on.
It's just the allergies. Apparently, they've been rocking the world.
I guess, but we're dying here, and I'm just kind of on another planet. I even said to my boss today, because she was asking me a question, I was like, you know, I got to be real with you. I don't feel good, so can you just tell me what you need?
Tell me the answer.
Oh, it's fine, though. I love it.
That's me, Colt Sievers, and this is my hero's journey.
So we're going to talk about the Fall Guy, Miss Pengrino.
Ow.
Sorry, we just saw the Fall Guy. Well, we saw it a few days ago, and movie. What'd you think of the Fall Guy?
I enjoyed it.
All right.
To be honest, I actually thought I would enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Because the trailers and everything were giving action. We're giving comedy action, in the sense that I
Right.
felt there would be more comedy than action.
Well, it's a movie about a stuntman who's trying to do things, so you knew action was coming.
Well, I knew that,
Yeah.
but it's almost like, I don't know if necessarily the comedy fell flat in a lot of places, or it's just not the comedy I was expecting.
I think you and I are going to have the same kind of view on this.
It
Yeah.
seemed like it was almost
Forced.
an action movie with a couple jokes.
I never forget a fist. I don't mean it like that.
It seemed forced.
It did.
Yeah, exactly. It's another case of the trailer made it seem like a different movie than what it actually was.
Yeah.
From the trailer, what I was getting was more like a romance action comedy. I thought it was going to be more
That too.
more Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt doing the thing.
Also kind of spoofish.
Spoofy, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe like a little, right, kind of like a spoof off of murder mystery type stuff. Because clearly, I mean, that's what this movie is about. It's about a stunt guy who kind of gets roped into the wrong end of the stick there. He gets roped into a murder situation, and basically he has to track down the murderer. And
Which, to be honest, also from the previews, I thought he was being tracked by the mob, because I thought it
Yeah.
was like drugs and money.
exactly, and I thought that
So that's what I thought even going into that.
because
So,
in the trailer you see the guy in the ice bath, and you think, oh wait, that must be the act. Because I was thinking that was the actor that he
Yeah.
was the stuntman for. So the actor is dead. So he's got to find out who killed the actual actor, and then go from there.
that's exactly what I thought.
right.
Exactly what I thought.
That's not what happens.
That's not.
We won't spoil it for you, but that's not what happens.
That is not what happens. We can tell you what doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. And that does not happen.
Doesn't.
I did not know that.
But it was still interesting. It was still fun, but I was expecting more than what the trailer promised.
I needed more Emily Blunt.
Everybody needs more Emily Blunt.
I love her. She has great chemistry with Ryan Gosling. And you kind of cut her out of this. But in the previews, you made her a very big deal.
You made her the biggest part of the trailers, and that's
and
why.
And then you just like when you got to the movie, you're like, we don't like those scenes. Yeet.
Okay, girl, bye.
But the way they worked together, you're right.
They have great chemistry.
It was great chemistry. It would have been a really great way to do the movie is to have them kind of team up and fall into these pitfalls, these traps of everything that's going on
together
with the bad guys. That doesn't really happen. She doesn't really become a part of it until she has to at the end, and that's it. So it was kind of a letdown in that respect. But I did enjoy the movie. I guess we're not dogging it completely here.
It's still an enjoyable movie. It's just, it gets kind of frustrating. Lately, I feel like all of these movies, we're going in expecting a certain movie from the trailers that have been put out, and it is not that movie.
You expect one thing and get the other.
Yeah.
And
not saying that what we get is bad, it's just not what we expected. Therefore, our vision of it, our like approval of it is off.
What was the most recent one that did that? Oh, was it Argyle that did it to us?
Barbie.
You're done. You're done.
Well, okay, so Barbie, look, Barbie's a special case because Barbie was a great movie, but you're right, it was completely different.
Different.
But I think they did that on purpose. They wanted you to think one thing and then you watched it and it's a completely different thing. And so it's like, oh, okay, I like what they did there. But I think like Argyle,
I knew what that one was going to be going in, and it's exactly what I thought. So
see, Argyle, I thought there was going to be more Henry Cavill, more John Cena, more Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa has has a starring credit in this movie. She's in one scene.
she is.
And it's supposed to be fake anyway. It's supposed to be
memory.
Not a memory. No, it's her vision of what the story is.
Oh, yeah.
So, Argyle was weird like that, and I don't know if this is just an attempt to try to get people to theaters, or what?
I would venture to guess, because it's always what you do for trailers. That's the whole point of a trailer, is to draw people in.
Yeah, but it's like, well, because we were just watching Red Letter Media just recently put out their mid-year review of some of the movies that they've seen and not done reviews on, and they talked about Abigail. Which is a horror movie that came out recently, where a little girl from a rich family gets kidnapped, but then there's a twist, and the twist is she's a vampire, and she goes on the rampage and so really, the movie it twists. It goes from the kidnappers being the antagonists and the little girl being the protagonist to the kidnappers being the antagonists and the little girl becoming the protagonist or antagonist.
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Good guy, bad guy thing. And very tired. And
Wake up!
and that's a great concept. But they let you know in the trailer, this is what this movie's about.
Yeah.
It's Vampire Girl, okay? It's a little vampire girl, so you're going to eat people. So just be prepared for Vampire Girl, you know?
You thought the kidnappers were scary.
Yes.
Wrong!
See, and what Jay from Red Letter Media was saying was that it would have been amazing if they left that out of the trailer.
Yeah.
Obviously, the selling point is that this is a horror movie, a gory horror movie with a horror monster, so you have to put it in the trailer. But if there was some way they could have made it, they twisted it around to make you say, oh, but there's a twist in the film. Come see what it is. Because they could probably they could do that back in the old days.
all you had to do would be like black out the screen and be like, or is she?
Right.
Like, you don't need to say she's a vampire.
Yeah.
Because she could, or is she could have been a werewolf. She could have been a demon.
Or maybe it's all bull crap and we just want your ass in a seat.
Yeah.
And it's just a normal getaway film. I mean, it's interesting. I was about to say they could back in the old days, they could get away with that. When I say old days, I mean like 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You could get away with that with movies back then.
Yeah.
But even like within the last 50 years, you could never make a movie like that and just sell it completely on like the B plot of the movie. You would have to throw in that A plot. So that's the thing. It's like, how do you sell these movies? Well, you don't really know for sure. So if obviously if your movie is a little girl vampire, you talk about the little girl vampire. But if it's a movie that has, a stuntman going on a mission trying to find killers, what do? Well, okay, you show scenes of him, like, finding the body. You show scenes of him kicking butt. And then, Emily Blunt's also in this movie. Make sure we put in lots of shots of them together.
Put in her.
And that's how you sell a movie like that. And so that's how you get butts in the seats in the theaters. So is it a little deceiving? It is.
It's more than a little deceiving.
Is it
It's quite a
super
damn bit
deceiving? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
How dare you!
But I mean, it's really a classic Hollywood trope of just getting people into the theater. But which leads me to the point is that this movie's not doing very well.
Yeah.
We have it. This movie came out like a week or two ago, and we just saw it this past weekend, even ourselves, and it's not doing well. Other big movies that are coming out right now are not doing well, and it's not because the movies aren't good. It's just people don't want to go to the theater. It's because
too expensive.
It's too expensive. The money that you spend when you go into a theater is astronomical now.
Yeah.
It's almost it used to be dinner and a movie. Now it's a movie maybe if you can afford it, but nothing else. And so it's I think it's killing the industry right now. And
I mean, think about it. For a pair of us, taxes and all with tickets, it's probably about $40.
It just for the two of us.
Yes, just for the two of us.
Yeah. Remember, because
we normally go with his family.
I was about to say, if you're a newbie,
There's only like 6 of us, 5 of us.
If you're a normal viewer of this show, you know that normally we go see the movies with my parents. We just go see movies when they come to town. And that was the case with The Fall Guy, and I don't even know how much it was because they paid. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Happy Mother's Day.
Leave me alone, unless this is Mom, in which case, Happy Mother's Day.
Because tickets now range, depending on what time you go, anywhere from $13.50 to like $16.50. And that's for like the regular theater. That's not if you go to the IMAX or the Ford Triple D Shake You Round Skippy Booty Ba.
Which I can't because
we'll throw up in this.
Do not put that up. Who did this to us?
Certain age group for that. Once you hit 30, you're starting to question if you can actually sit in that theater.
I'm 35 and I almost didn't make it into this room to do this show.
Again, he hasn't slept for like a month. I've been up since 4, so we're doing great today.
What?
Who am I? What am I?
Those tickets actually go up to, I'm pretty sure, almost $24, $25 at this point.
Yeesh.
So a lot of people are basing their decision on a movie is like, is it good enough to pay the price?
Is it theater worthy?
Or can I wait for streaming?
Exactly.
Because most oftentimes, even if you buy it when it first comes out streaming, you're paying $20, but that's $20 for as many people who wants to watch it in 24 hours.
Exactly. And that was the point I was going to get to, is that most people will go to the theater now if it's a movie worth seeing in the theater, like your Marvel movies, your Star Wars movies, DC, or if it is like a big bombastic film, they will see it. But even if it's
Dune.
Dune. I mean, you needed the theater experience for Dune. But like, yeah, you can see a movie that's coming out and that looks good. I don't think I'm going to pay a bunch of money to go see it. I'll wait till it comes to streaming, because I guarantee you this movie and other movies that are suffering right now are going to have huge streaming numbers in the next few months.
And they've already said they're going to release to streaming relatively quickly. Because let's be real, to be honest.
Let's get real.
If it was just the two of us, not that we don't enjoy going to the movies, we do, but we would rather go to dinner and then come back and stream it.
And go to sleep.
If we had to, because
during the movie.
And actually get to sit in the comfort of our own home.
So, I mean, and really it's a no-brainer for movies like The Fall Guy. If you're interested but you don't really care to see it in the theater, you're going to wait for streaming.
Yeah.
And I get it. But so that's probably what's killing these movies right now, is because prices are sky high, inflation's insane, and none of the movies that are out right now are theater worthy. They're not ones that people are just going to flock to.
They weren't like filmed for theater.
Right. Now, coming up in July, we've got the next Deadpool movie. That's going to be a theater movie. People are going to want to see that in the theater, So, I mean, and again, not just because it's a comic book movie, but it's a movie that really works better in the theater than it does in streaming. So obviously that's why they're going to do it. But that's why this movie is suffering so much, is because it's just, I don't think people want to go. They don't want to see it enough to actually go see it right now. They'll see it later when it comes into their home. Right now, it's just a little too much.
I agree.
Yeah, but the movie overall, I mean, it is fun. The action is fun. It's very actiony. It's an action film.
I do enjoy how it's kind of like behind the scenes of filming.
They broke the fourth wall a few times.
They did, and that's pretty great. I actually enjoy that because, like, they showed you how a lot of times they'll set up like bombs or explosions, or how they do car accidents, how they do people getting hit by things.
And basically, it shows just what a horrible misery it is to make a movie.
Yeah, it
seems
seems
awful. It is
so
awful.
Godspeed to all of you wanting and or doing that.
This is hard enough for me.
Yeah.
To film this and then meticulously edit it to put it out. That takes like 2 days for me, and I have like a conniption fit going through that.
Also, Godspeed to any true stuntman.
Yeah, they go through a lot.
How you're not coming home every day bruised, battered,
dead,
broken, possibly dead. I don't know. I wouldn't want to do even a third of what you do.
No.
So props to you.
Hats off for what you do.
So I did enjoy that aspect quite a bit, because I liked that it was a behind the scenes thing, if you will. Granted, you, that didn't really have much to do with the actual plot of the movie, but I like how we got there.
Yeah. But like, it was entertaining. I was talking about, because like I said, just to not to overshare here, but I have been having a sleeping problem recently, and I don't sleep very well. So when we were going into the movie, even she was saying, I'm tired, and I was like, I'm tired too, and I was afraid we were going to fall asleep in the movie. But the movie kept my interest the whole time. It's
Neither
like,
one of us
I couldn't stop watching it. So I mean, it's a good movie. It's just
it was a little long.
It's long. Again, here we go. There was actually an article that was put out recently. It was asking people, it was like a survey, like, what is your ideal running time for a movie? 92 minutes was the ideal running time. That's an hour and a half. That is an hour and 32 minutes. That is what people want.
As we continue...
Not every movie has to be over 2 hours.
As we continue to grow as a society, as we get more generations, the attention spans get shorter and shorter and shorter. And even those of us, words...
What?
Who maybe had longer attention spans when we were younger, given the things we've been exposed to over the years, they have definitely shortened.
Yeah.
Our brains function so much better in shorter clippets than long drawn out things.
And so if you're going to do a movie, that's probably another thing that's kind of killing the industry, is you got to keep them short so that people can get in and out.
We can't focus that long.
Well, it's not even that I can't focus that long. It's just like a movie like this, how can you go to more than 2 hours doing just a simple action comedy?
Yeah.
Like, not every movie has to be over 2 hours. You can just, it happens and things happen and that's it. You don't have to keep drawing it out.
I would say there were quite a few scenes of where they like slow-mo everything or add music.
Oh, there were some scenes that just weren't needed.
Running to places.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You don't need to stretch that out as much as you did. One slow-mo scene probably would have been good enough.
I feel like the cutting room floor was surprisingly clean. That's what I feel like. Because it just felt like it was just everything they could pack in there was packed in. But even with that, I thought the movie was fun. And like I said, it is a fun watch. Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt are fantastic in it.
I definitely like him being the awkward one.
Right.
That's pretty great because he's normally like the Prince Charming, if you will. That smooth talker.
And both of them are a delight, They're both delightful people.
They are both delightful. Of course, I will always love Emily Blunt. She's my favorite.
She's amazing.
Oopsie doopsie, I muffed it up again.
And on that note, Ms. Pengrino, would you recommend The Fall Guy?
Yeah. But when it streams.
And I am full agreement. Wait till it streams. But I don't want to hurt theaters any more than what they are getting right now. But I mean,
if you're looking for a nice night out, it's definitely not a bad option.
Sure.
it's still a good movie to go see. Wait till that streams.
But definitely see it when it comes out.
Definitely see it, for sure. It is good enough to see. It's just maybe not good enough to pay theater prices. Is that how you're feeling?
Yes.
Okay. So I know at the beginning of this, we were kind of like joking about the whole religious thing.
Oh yeah, that whole thing. Obviously, that was a joke. So just
But I actually, I think I'm gonna start a religion, start a church. You know.
You're gonna start a religion.
Yeah.
And what religion is that?
The religion of Santa Claus 3.